I will never forget the look on her face. Linda came into the library not too long ago when I was working at the information desk, and she came up to me and she told me that she had just lost her job. Let go after 27 years. She said that she had gotten the job right after high school, and in her life she never imagined working anywhere else. And there she was at the library that day, terminated with 2 weeks' notice. And she was freaking out. She was so scared and so panicked about how she was going to pay her bills, how she was going to take care of her family. And as she stood before me, shrunken with worry and defeat and fear, feeling like less, I said to her, "The library can help. We can help you." And the look on her face when she heard that, it is a look, like I said, that I will never forget. Such hope, such staggering relief. It was the look you see on the face of a person who was drowning and is thrown a rope. And seeing that look, I was so grateful that I could say those words to her, because a decade ago, I wouldn't have been able to. 10 years ago, the library didn't have the help that Linda needed. And the only reason we were able to help her that day was because we had help from superheroes. Yes, superheroes. And I'm not talking about spandex and capes, although in fact that might happen privately in their own homes. Hear me out. I'm talking about how 10 years ago in Waterville, there was no career center. The state-funded career center had been shut down 3 years prior because of budget cuts. And transportation barriers made it really hard for a lot of Waterville job seekers to get to the closest career center in Augusta or Skowhegan. There wasn't public transportation at the time. Cab fares were pricey. And these job seekers started coming into the public library because it was easy to get to. It was open 6 days a week. There was internet, there was Wi-Fi, there were public computers where they could write and print resumes, look for jobs online. And we did an okay job of helping them. Not great, but okay. We could cover the basics, but we learned quickly that there can often be really complex issues that face job seekers when they're looking for work. And then, 10 years ago, in 2008, the unemployment rate in Maine took a sharp, crazy spike upward. From January to December, in that one single year, the unemployment rate rose over 52%. Okay, that small stream of people coming into the library for help, those job seekers, that stream became a roaring river. And for the next 27 months, the unemployment rate in Maine didn't drop below 8%. Now that number reflects the real people, actual people, who were trying to figure out how without a paycheck they were going to pay their mortgage, pay their rent, pay their car payment, pay for insurance, buy food, buy diapers, buy medication. Okay, these were actual people. And to help them, the library couldn't afford to become resume experts. We couldn't create original content for job seekers like they were doing in some other parts of the country in public libraries with more money than we had. If we wanted to help the people, and we did, okay, we needed to assemble our own version of the Super Friends or Justice League or Avengers or Voltron or the Thundercats or whatever team of superheroes happens to be your favorite. Okay, we needed to collaborate with superhero service providers and community partners who had the resources and skills to help people find jobs. Because books on resumes weren't gonna cut it. The job seekers coming into the library needed help from humans, okay? They needed help from superheroes. And in 2009, we connected with our first super friend. Okay, the super friend saw the opportunities to help job seekers at the library, and they helped us find federal stimulus funds to buy a laptop lab and other resources. They helped us find money to hire a librarian to lead our efforts. And they doubled down on this commitment to this community solution, our local Justice League, and they placed an expert employment specialist in the library 1 day a week to meet with job seekers one-on-one. Now, I want you just for a moment to consider the lost human potential that happens, all that human potential that's lost when a person isn't able to connect with help that's available. Okay, the help is there, but the pathways to it just aren't open. So imagine that lost human potential as a big, giant, hideous, evil robot. That's true, you have to think of it right now. Okay, that lost human potential right now in your brain is a big, giant, horrible robot. Huge, terrifying, with big claws and everything. And so that first day that employment specialist was at the library, that very first day, it felt just like, well, when your city's under attack by a big, giant, terrifying robot, and that first super friend, that first Avenger arrives, shows up and starts to battle the bad guy. Hooray! I know, totally. Help had arrived, but it wasn't enough. Remember, we were in the middle of the greatest economic recession since the Great Depression. People needed help. If we wanted to defeat that evil giant robot, we needed more superheroes to attack it. And so, thanks to that first super friend, remember we were able to hire a librarian, a professional librarian, to identify superheroes, collect our allies, and we lucked out because we ended up hiring a superhero, a librarian named Tammy, who spent those first months doing reconnaissance, learning as much as she could. What were the programs and services available for job seekers? What were the teams, the systems that were in place? What were the networks? What were the barriers job seekers were facing? She reached out to the businesses in the community, learning about their needs. She was out in the community, building relationships, building communication, gathering those super friends one by one, pulling them in, aligning efforts, and opening up pathways to connect people with the help that they needed to thrive, to prosper, to live a better life. Because that's how the super friends, beat the bad guy. It's all of them working together. Each individual superhero uses her or his unique powers to attack the robot. Okay, and individually, each of those attacks is not enough to win. Right? It's all of those attacks. It's the cumulative efforts of the laser beams, the sonic waves, the ice buckets if you're a Wonder Twin. All of those efforts together are what win the day. If the super friends don't join forces, the evil robot wins. And it's just like the same with job searching or helping realize that human potential. It's the cumulative efforts of the contributions of all partners that helps the good guy. Lifts that person up who wants to get a better life. It's all about working together. That's why I could help Linda that day, because I knew which superheroes to call, because we had that collaboration, we had that team in place. And without those superheroes, we wouldn't have been able to help people we did. People like Paul. Paul was a Vietnam veteran who was experiencing homelessness, and he was a lovely, kind man, referred to the library by his older brother. And Paul had so many scars, internal and external, that really made it difficult for him to get work. And for over a year, he came to the library every week to meet with a veterans employment specialist that was there at the library because of our super friend. And he attended job searching workshops at the library because of another super friend. He got interview coaching and resume support from yet another super friend. He busted his butt. He worked so hard. And that day, so this one day, he came into the library and he got to tell me that he had gotten a full-time job with benefits at a local employer. I've got goosebumps just thinking about it, okay? That look on his face when he told me that, such hope, such relief, such pride, such self-respect. Just recently, a young man in his 20s named Ryan contacted the library through Facebook, and he said that he was powerfully motivated to get his life on track and in order. He and his girlfriend were expecting a baby. So Ryan needed help getting a job. He said in his message that he was interested maybe in getting his commercial driving license. And so when Tammy got this message, she sent up the bat signal to the super friends, okay, asking for help. And instantly, they responded. And this flurry of email communication between all of these super friends trying to figure out how they could help Ryan together. And in that one email conversation, well, it's a very long one, as you've seen with forwarded messages, they were able to figure out an opportunity for Ryan to get his course paid for, his driving course paid for. And not only that, but after he got this course finished, he had a job lined up, all set, all because of this collaboration. This is a case where teamwork really does save the day, and we can say, Shazam! Take that, evil robot. Take that. Now, gathering this team of superheroes is not an easy task. If you have seen the first Avenger movie, then you know the challenges that Nick Fury and Phil Coolidge experienced when they were assembling this team. Collaboration can be messy. It's hard work. It takes time. And if you don't devote the resources to do the work, to build the network, to create these collaborations, then you just won't have enough superheroes you need to beat that robot. But if you remember Linda, remember Ryan, remember Paul, okay, remember all the things that can happen when you work together. Evil robots defeated, okay, mountains moved, pathways to prosperity opened. Now, you may have noticed that I happen to know some superheroes, and maybe some of these superheroes could help some of you. Maybe you don't have a job. Maybe you hate your job. Maybe you don't even know what kind of job you want to have. Come to the library. Meet our super friends. Okay, and maybe you yourself are a superhero. Maybe you're a super friend and want to join in on this action. Then come to the library. Let us connect you with people who need your help. Because every day, every single day, I want to be able to say, Shazam! Shazam! Evil robot, take that. Thank you.